Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into Tesla's earnings. Tesla had earnings. This is coming out in the morning, so recently. They actually came out the previous day this is being released. But we're just going to be looking into their financial statement, and we're going to be more so just their earnings. We're not going to dive super deep in financial statement, but we're going to just look at it more broadly. We will look at some numbers, but we're mostly going to answer the question, should you be worried after this earnings, right? Because you see headlines like this, right? Tesla quarterly deliveries disappointed ahead of robotaxi unveiling. I think this headline is incredibly misleading. Most, journalists, I put that in quote, mostly just put things for clicks. And I actually really like Yahoo Finance in terms of looking at charts and information they provide. I mean, look at all these different tabs, right? And usually you don't even need them, but the articles are kind of just horrible, and we'll look into that. But still, we want to answer the question, should you be worried about Tesla after this earnings season? And so, full disclosure, I do not own any Tesla. I was looking to get in around 170, but I just didn't have capital at the time, so I have no financial stake in Tesla, but I'm going to give you my look from a little bit from the outside. But as a person who, I like the company fairly. I like the company. We'll see. We'll dive into it. So I'm assuming almost all of you have a good understanding of Tesla. Obviously, they sell electric vehicles. They've led the market for a while. I mean, if we zoom out to the 5-year, I mean, just incredible growth since, even 2020. But yeah, I mean, and they've been on a good run as of recent too. So, they're only down 3%, 3.5% after earnings. Should you be concerned though? Well, let's look at the numbers first. Let's look at this. Tesla's quarterly deliveries disappoint ahead of robotaxi unveiling. All right, reported a smaller than expected revenue rise. Okay, rise in third quarter deliveries. No, okay, so they didn't even say revenue. Look, smaller than expected rise in third quarter deliveries on Wednesday. Okay. Sending shares down more than 6%. Obviously, they did not end that much. They only ended down 3.5%, which usually is a good sign that was a bit of an overreaction. I don't care about most of this article, right? Oh, it's weaker because of China. And then we look into this, right? This is the real, this is four paragraphs down, right? Tesla handed over 462,890 vehicles in the July-September period, up 6.4% from a year earlier, meaning they're delivering more vehicles than they did, marking its first quarterly growth after 2 straight quarters of falling sales, which isn't that much, but compared to what? They didn't say how much they fell. They fall 1%, do they fall 80%? 80%, obviously. I was going to say 8, but also 80 would be important. They clearly did not. But that fell short of the 469,828 deliveries expected on average by 12 analysts. Oh, so they missed the mark by 7,000 by what 12 analysts thought? Huh. So it's like, well, okay. The analysts, that's what it missed by. This is the metric they're using, right? Tesla's quarterly deliveries disappoint. The disappoint is just what analysts thought, right? That's not what the company said. And I was curious, so I'm looking back at what the company actually said. This is their last earnings. Here, where is it? It's somewhere in this thing. Yeah, in 2024, our vehicle volume growth rate may be notably lower than the growth rate achieved in 2023, as our teams work to launch of the next generation vehicle and other products. In 2024, the growth rates of energy storage deployments and our revenue, energy generation and storage business should outpace the automotive business, which I haven't dove into it. I'm assuming they did fine there. They probably are growing in that. I would be surprised if they didn't. But they literally, so they said the growth would probably be lower this year. Right, they're clearing that. They didn't give specific numbers, right? So usually when you expect someone to miss, which I hate it, because usually if they miss, not usually, but oftentimes they'll say, oh yeah, disappointing, right? When it's just a metric set by analysts, which don't really know much. And oftentimes, if a company says we're going to do this, but analysts put it higher, they'll still say miss, even though the company hit what they were going to say, which is just dumb. It's just dumb. So this is not disappointing, really. I mean, and that's okay. It's disappointing if you had in your head, right, as an investor, I think Tesla will sell significantly more. You thought they were being really conservative here, right? If you thought they were being conservative with this statement, then you're like, oh. But other than that, you shouldn't be surprised. This is what they said. They said, actually, it had year-over-year growth, right? This would be quarter 2. Yeah, 460,000 of quarter 2 last year. They had, what, 400, yeah. Or is this quarter 3? I don't know. But either way, it's more. It says 6% more. If this is, maybe it's of the specific model. I don't know. But either way, I'm not getting 6% with that. But either way, it's not a disappointment by any metric, right? So it is a disappointment, and you should be worried. I will answer the question. Should you be worried about Tesla stock after this earnings? The answer is no, unless you were bullish and thought they were going to sell more and they were being conservative, right? If you're like, oh yeah, Tesla's going to sell, oh, they say it might be slower, I think they're going to go sell 500,000 this quarter, right? You thought they were just being, then maybe it's slightly disappointed, but not at all. And honestly, like, we all know Tesla has a fairly high valuation. I don't think any of you are shocked by that if you look at PE, how it is certainly compared to other automotives, right? But all of you, hopefully, I'm assuming, right? You're looking forward, right? You're looking to the robo-taxi. You're looking forward to other models, right? You don't expect them to double and double and double. You don't expect them to ship 3 million vehicles every quarter, right? At least most people don't. Maybe they become the hegemonic leader in the automotive industry, just steal everyone's lunch money in terms of sales, which they are doing great. Don't get me wrong, they are doing great. But what you're looking forward to is them developing robotaxi, them developing full self-driving, and them, leasing that technology out to other people as well and making huge profit on that, right? That's what you are looking forward to, right? Generally. This is the argument I'm making, right? This was not a disappointing earnings unless you don't believe in robotaxi and you think that is not feasible, it's not going to happen ever, or extreme, or Tesla won't do it. But if that's what you're looking forward to, there's nothing in this earnings that should make you panic. If that's why you are invested in this company, right? Tesla, I mean, it has a high valuation, but it's had that at least the last 5 years, right? At least since this level, since 100. You always knew that Tesla isn't like, oh, this is some cheap company. Everyone always says, oh, Tesla's valued too high. And I don't think it's valued too high. But the reason, at least right now, if you were just like, oh yeah, I think Tesla's going to sell, 600,000 vehicles this quarter, yeah, I would panic. If you don't think they're going to have any robotaxi, yeah, I would panic, and I probably would not be holding this stock, right? Because they're saying it. That's what the company's saying. Take their word for it, right? This was, like I said, this was the last quarters. But they're saying it in their statements. I've completely lost it. I think it's further down here. Yes. They're telling you, right, we aren't going to sell 1 million vehicles a quarter, right? If I said numbers earlier, I meant like 3 million a quarter, right? Maybe in a full year that's feasible. I mean, they're already doing 2 million. And they may still grow. And they also, personally for Tesla, I see a lot of room for more efficiency. Not that Elon Musk or any of them aren't efficient, right? But generally, they've just trying to scale up enough production to meet the demand. That was Tesla's thing, and that's why they demanded, that along with the development of the technology that's why they demanded such a premium, is they had incredible demand. They just could not get enough production online, at least for the last 5, 6, 7 years, at least the last 5 years. But I'm going out there and saying 6 or 7, right? But they could probably squeeze some margin out of just making things more efficient, cost cutting, whatnot. Also, of course, some of the energy stuff. I'm not going to dive into that today. With like the charging stations and all that. But anyways, I would only be concerned about Tesla, right? I would only be concerned if you just thought they're going to sell 1 million copies and that would be it. If you're invested for full self-driving, you should not be worried. Or full self, or robotaxi, whatever it may be. I mean, full self-driving, that's what they call it. I'm talking more robotaxi and all that. So excuse me for misspeaking. if that's why you're invested, personally, I believe that's why you should be invested, right? At this valuation, like I said, I think it's a good company. I'm probably not buying. It's probably not like one of the one or two stocks I'm going to buy. Recently, I have other priorities. I already have some higher risk stocks, and don't get me wrong, I think Tesla's a great investment, but it is one of the more highly valued, or it's, I mean, the PE, right? Everyone always points to that, and like I said, I think this is a good company. I'm looking to buy in, right around maybe 180. I would probably consider. Well, that's just me, and I'm okay with, not making money on Tesla. But if it goes up, so anyways, that's a different story. But if you are a Tesla investor, you should not be panicking after this earnings. I wouldn't, not unless I didn't hear anything about guidance or outlook in their other one. I'm assuming it's kind of just what we heard last time. So. And this it would be much further down than 3.5% if they guided poorly. So, anyways, so we're just kind of waiting on that. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked my opinion or didn't, let me know. Leave a like if you made it this far. Subscribe. I'm a new channel. I'm just trying to start up an audience. I just like talking about stocks and everything stock related. I love stocks. I love talking about investing. So, like I said, if you made it this far, go ahead and consider leaving a like or anything like that. But I just appreciate you guys, listening. I like talking about stocks. I like providing people, information and all that sort of thing. So anyways, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.